Hey, it's Politics with Laura, and I got a difficult one for you today. Um, Before I get into the video, please watch it through the end. It's extremely important for you to really understand what's going on with illegal immigration and who are the players. As you can see right here, or okay, that's a little better. You know what I mean? The U.S. plays a huge part. Not only does the U.S. play a huge part, but we got to be honest, the people in these countries play a huge part as well. Family members in the U.S. from other countries, please, if you're going to send your family money, demand one or two of them, put them through school, demand them to go to college, trade school, demand them to be able to pick up the pace where you are from, to build a country from within. That's how it happens. That's how it happened here in the United States. The more you run, you're not fixing your own your own homeland. You're not doing anything to make it better. It fosters a lot of crime. People feel the need to get into the trade of the cartels, human smuggling, whatever they need to do in order to survive. Because when you leave, that leaves something open. When you send money to your family, you don't demand them to get an education to move the economy so that there will not be such gang activity because the only thing that is paying is gang activity, human trafficking, whatever you need to do, especially if you don't invest in your people back home to go to school and also to fight for the government to make it work. Don't inbox me saying, oh, well, it's dangerous. It's dangerous here too. And by the way, a lot of people that I talk to who are illegal, they say that America is not what they thought it was be. They didn't know it was this hard and that they have to work this hard. But there's more to it. So watch the video. Oh my goodness, you're going to be horrified. But the video's short. Please watch it all the way through the end. Here's a whistleblower.
Good
Her.
afternoon, Chairman McClintock, Ranking Member Japal, and distinguished members of the committee. It is an honor to be here. I thank you for the invitation to share my testimony. My goal is to inspire action to safeguard the lives of migrant children, including the staggering 85,000 that are missing. Today, children will work overnight shifts at slaughterhouses, factories, restaurants to pay their debt.
I did a video a couple of months ago about this. You have companies that are hiring as young as 12 and 13 years old. They work in slaughterhouses. She'll tell you, hold on.
Debts to smugglers and traffickers. Today, children will be sold for sex. Today, children will call a hotline to report they are being abused, neglected, and trafficked. And we don't know if they're going to get the help they need. For nearly a decade, unaccompanied children have been suffering in the shadows. And I have to confess, I knew nothing about their suffering until 2021, when I volunteered to help the Biden administration with the crisis at the southern border. As part of Operation Artemis, I was deployed to the Pomona Fairplex Emergency Intake Site in California to help HHS, Office of Refugee Resettlement, reunite children with sponsors in the United States. I thought I was going to help place children in loving homes. Instead, I discovered that children are being trafficked through a sophisticated network that begins with recruiting in home country, smuggling to the U.S. border, and ends when ORR delivers a child to a sponsor. Some sponsors are criminals and traffickers and members of transnational criminal organizations. Some sponsors view children as commodities and assets to be used for earning income. This is why we are witnessing an explosion of labor trafficking. Now, whether it's intentional or not, it could be argued that the United States government has become the middleman in a large-scale multi-billion-dollar child trafficking operation that is run by bad actors seeking to profit off of the lives of children. As for me, my interest is the safety of the children. I do not view this as a political issue. I view this as a humanitarian issue. I assure you, my motives are the highest and best. I want the children protected. So I want to tell you some of what I witnessed personally at the Pomona Fairplex. I saw vulnerable indigenous children from Guatemala who speak Mayan dialects and cannot speak Spanish. That means they cannot ask for help in English. They cannot ask for help in Spanish. They become captives of their sponsors. I have sat with case managers as they've cried to tell me the horror of what has happened to children as they make the journey to this country. I saw apartment buildings where 20, 30, and 40 unaccompanied minors have been released. I saw sponsors trying to simultaneously sponsor children from multiple ORR sites at one time. I saw sponsors using multiple addresses to obtain sponsorships of children. And I saw numerous cases of children in debt bondage, and the child knew they had to stay with the sponsor until the debt was paid. Realizing that we were not offering the children the American dream, but instead putting them in modern-day slavery with wicked overlords, was a terrible revelation. A terrible revelation. These children are a captive victim population with no access to law enforcement or knowledge of their rights. They are extorted, abused, neglected, and that is why I blew the whistle in 2021. I witnessed firsthand the horrors of child trafficking and exploitation. My life will never be the same after what I saw. But I have hope, because I'm counting on you. It's my hope that you'll take action to end this crisis, to safeguard the lives of these vulnerable children. People have asked me, what can be done? What would you suggest? Well, first, I think HHS's #1 priority is oversight. They must commit to oversight, transparency, and accountability. If I could wave a magic wand, this, I believe, could be quickly solved by experts in the IG community. There is a Pandemic Analytics Center of Excellence, or the PACE, as we call it. I believe if data analysts at the PACE could look at the data, children could be rescued, criminals could be prosecuted. If the PACE had access to this data, it shows where the children are and who has them. I think also we need to change the culture of speed over safety. Speed is the wrong performance measure when dealing with children. We need to revamp the vetting process of sponsors and have case managers who have investigative backgrounds, data analytics backgrounds, some certified fraud examiners. And I think we need to reimagine a system where the sponsor is the accountable party. Sponsors should be required to report to ORR. And lastly, stop retaliating against whistleblowers. Stop retaliating against the people who are trying to tell the truth to save the children. As it is written, a wise man listens to advice, while a fool continues in his folly, and HHS needs to be wise to care for these children.
Thank you very much. Your time has expired.
This is very difficult because this right here is beyond difficult, because these children are coming to the United States unaccompanied. Their parents are here. They're not coming with their parents. And then if they do come with their parents, they get separated. And the woman said 86,000 children are unaccounted for. That's a lot of children. And it's just a huge problem. And she said something so key, so key. They are the new, I don't want to mince what she's saying, but basically what the Democratic Party has created, and please don't say, oh, that's not true. Yes, it is true. They have created, through a lot of influx of people, they have created a slave class. They're not coming out and saying it, but she did. A slave class. They're going to be working in those dangerous jobs. They don't look at them as human beings. They don't. In the hearing, so much more was said. It's about an hour and a half long. I'll put the link in the description box. I really suggest you to listen to it all the way through. Please do that. You'll have a better understanding of what's going on, and then you can make more informed decisions when it comes to illegal immigration. They can come here legally. They can. These people can fix their country as we do all the time. It's just, are they willing to fight for it? We have gangs. We have cartels. We have all kinds of stuff here. We do. We fight. And I encourage them to fight. Fight for their country, fight for their children, fight for their peace and sovereignty. It's a mess. But on that note, what do you think?